And I see my brother Darcy in the building, the streamer. I got you, bro. I'm about to get to you in like a few seconds, bro. Just get Darcy in the face. I apologize, Darcy, for being a little bit late. Apologies. But yeah, man. Got a lot to talk about tonight, man. Knicks playing like absolute trash against the elite team. Still got the fifth best record in the league, but it's not going to be enough if we have any aspirations to get to the ECF or whatnot, man. Let me let my brother Darcy in here. My brother Darcy looking pissed. Hold up. Hold up. My brother Darcy looking pissed. Hold up. And then, so I gotta turn off, yo, son. It's janky ass productions. Salute, my brother Darcy, man. Salute, my guy. Apologies for the late start. Let me get my camera up. Give me 2 seconds, Darcy. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. God bless on this nice, warming weather that we get in here. Golly, how do I turn off my damn Sony ZV-1? As you guys can see, I'm having camera issues. It's ridiculous. Hold up, y'all. Yo, salute to Darcy, man. My guy Darcy, man. Salute, bro. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you,
All
bro.
right, good. Let me just fix my camera. How you feeling, bro? You good, man? We done for the season? We finito?
Nah, man.
Oh,
Nah, it's a long season.
yes, sir.
It's a long season. Um, Obviously, this weekend was a bit depressing. Um, Definitely a bit depressing, but I think at the same time, that's what comes with the season, man. We know it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Um, just a lot of situations where women at the team is going to be playing good and looking like they have an identity established, and then moments where we have no clue of who this team is or how they're going to show up night in and night out, right? So, um, to me, I don't think I would want it any other way. If this team had it too easy going into the playoffs, then I would be concerned,
Mm.
right? But they wouldn't be battle tested, right? They wouldn't have gone through any situations where they were challenged and they had to rise above it. Now I think after the loss in Cleveland, and then knowing you're going into a game against the Celtics, that's a mental challenge. It's obviously a matchup thing there too, but it's a mental challenge to take a loss like that and then go up against another team who you see in the media. Everybody's talking about how you can't beat these teams. And so I think the Knicks didn't come out with the belief that they were going to win against.
Oh, crap. My bad, Darcy. I thought you would stay on. Give me 2 seconds. Now it was working. All right.
Ready to win. Like last year, every time we stepped on the court, we felt like we had a chance to win. It didn't matter who the opponent was. Now, that's not so much the case. And so, but like I said, I'm grateful that this team is going through some level of adversity. I think there's plenty of opportunity to turn things around. We have over 20 games left in the season. And so I think between now and April, you need to be focusing on improving and playing your best basketball. So that way, when you do match up against the Celtics and Cleveland come April, that you're ready to get a win. I think we played the Cavs 3 times in April, right? So those are a lot of games where you need to show up and you need to win, and that's going to feed our confidence going into the playoffs, because if we can't get a win over these guys in the regular season, that's just another added variable that's going to make it tough for them to believe that they can win if you face off against these guys come playoff time. And we're not going to move from 3. I think we're locked in at 3.
Agreed.
The Celtics are that matchup. That's the inevitable. We've been asking for this for years, and it's going to happen this season. And regardless of the outcome, the odds are not in our favor to beat the Celtics, and that's a credit to them, just being real. And I'm not saying that I don't think we're going to win. No, I think the spirit of this city will lift this team up to a playoff win and a shocker. I think it's possible. I'm never going to rule it out that this team can't do something and make something special happen this season, right? I don't think we're at a point where we hang our heads and believe that this team can't win. Without a rim protector this season, we're third in the East. That says a lot. And obviously we're hanging our heads because we just suffered 2 tough losses and everybody's talking about us not being able to beat these guys. But you're a new team. These guys are way more established as a team. They have that cohesiveness that we've yet to establish. And we can get into the Tom Thibodeau topic, but we don't have a standard identity that we can rely on right now. And that's one issue in itself. But I think getting Mitch back is going to help establish that toughness that our previous teams had, right? Look at R.J. Barrett. We had R.J. Barrett, Alfred Payton, Quentin Grimes, Julius Randle. We were still able to play because you had Mitch Robinson anchoring your defense. And so I think having Mitch out there, another tough, competitive guy that's going to bang, doesn't care about points, doesn't care. He just is a star in his role. Having another guy out there like that is going to help OG and it's going to help Mikal tremendously because we saw it against Boston. Miles McBride came in that game and played with confidence. He didn't shoot the ball well, but he played like we still had a chance to win, and that sparked OG, and that sparked the rest of these guys with Mikal being on the bench. And you need guys like that. It doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but it does a lot for your team when you have guys who are banging and doing the dirty work. So that's what I'm expecting from Mitch's return, man. But I'm not hanging my head. I think we're just getting started with what this team can be. Okay. But this needs to happen.
All right, hold up. Let me just play this. So I agree with a lot with what you said, and I want to dive into a lot of topics, things that you pointed out. But I had to play a few things because I just hate some of the narrative build. Now, mainstream media is what it is. But when I'm hearing things, I listen to, because I respect a lot of podcasts with these players. So I like to listen to what the players have to say. I think some of these guys are very insightful, even if it's, there's some levity, some comedy to it. But the narrative is now building up, right? That the Knicks, we're this big disappointment. You know what I'm saying, man? And unfortunately, one of my favorite players to watch when he was healthy and actually capable, DeMarcus Cousins, said some of the dumbest crap I heard today. And I just want to play this real quick because the whole idea, and this is why, and to what Darcy is saying, I purposely asked the question surrounding Tibbs and whatnot, because it's just the overreaction of a team that's in third place. We knew we're always going to be, we're at least going to come into the season, the regular season, being inferior to the Celtics, despite the fact you got Mikal Bridges re-signed OG to kind of play this war of the wings against the Celtics. It's not working. But to act as if the Knicks were these heavy favorites to win a chip or even to get to beat the Celtics in the ECF, like that's never been baked in. Now, I don't know exactly what Vegas had us. They probably had us relatively high. But I just hate the narrative building into it. So I just want to play this real quick by DeMarcus Cousins because this got me pissed. He was trying to, impress the cast of FanDuel, the show with Michelle Beto, and Lou Williams, who I actually respect. Lou Williams is actually a knowledgeable basketball player. So let me just play this real quick.
Man, you know what? I feel a way about these.
I love this setup. I love the setup, man.
And the reason is, we've been bamboozled, man.
Here we go.
There it is.
We sat here and allowed the Knicks to put together a championship college team and try to run it back in the NBA.
Okay.
And when they initially did it, we thought it was a good idea. And now we look at it and, they look like an average team. And, I hate to be, rude or upfront or blunt about it, but that's literally what it is. I think they have a talented starting 5. So let me say that. But It's just not enough. It's not enough with what they're matching up with in the East. It's not enough for the top dogs in the East as far as contending. I think what we got is just a good team, and I think they'll remain a good team throughout the year, but they'll just be a good team. I think they're just a good average team.
So a good average team doesn't have the 5th best record in the NBA. A good average team is not top 10 in both offense and defense, or at least top 12 last time I checked. A top 10, an average team is not 3rd in the Eastern Conference. This whole idea that we got bamboozled, what were your expectations when half you guys didn't even respect the players that we had here who were performing? I've never heard DeMarcus, I've never heard the vast majority of people praise Jalen Brunson as being a top guard in the league. They were all on Tyrese Halliburton's nuts, excuse my language, because he had that little run all the way up until the tournament last year. After that, his numbers fell off. Then he got hurt. But everybody's sitting up there talking about Tyrese Halliburton, he's the top 5 point guard in the league, blah, blah, blah. That should have been a sham. I never thought that dude was that. But to sit up here and act as if the Knicks, they were the heavy favorites to win the chip, I've never heard you say that, DeMarcus. I've never heard any of those other people say that. I didn't hear mainstream media say that. So I'm loving the position the Knicks are in somewhat right now because I love the underdog status. And when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, when it comes to his team, it's up to these guys to raise their level of play. I watched that Celtics game. I watched both those games, the last 2 games versus Celtics. As good as the Celtics were, the Knicks always had a chance to win those games. If you go back to the game, Derek White made a few ridiculous threes. Some of them were well guarded. So you chalk it up, right? 19-3 run the previous game made by Jason Tatum. You throw different looks at Jason Tatum, frustrate him a little bit like we did last game. Jason Tatum last game, I think the last 6 out of 7 shots of the game he missed. I know he had 2 when the game was already done. But he was still missing shots when the game was still in hand. So the Knicks are always in it. We're always doing something well. Whether it's pushing the ball in transition after a miss, whether it's finally having Cat attack the basket, being aggressive, draw fouls, slow the game up. Brunson on his hot runs. McCall can finally hit a shot like he did in game 2 when we made that run to get it down by 3. The Knicks are always in, and I feel like every game, it's not a sense of we don't have enough, it's that we do something to take ourselves out these games. Cleveland, I'm still not scared of Cleveland. I'm not saying Cleveland's not good. They're a damn good team. Don't get me wrong. But they just took a page out of Celtics book and just hit shots from the outside and just basically just did what the Celtics did on us. But even in that game, if you go back to the game, there were stretches in the 3rd quarter where the Cavaliers couldn't make a shot, but then we couldn't make a shot. We were taking dumb shots. We were trading miss for miss. You make some of those makes, it's a different game. It's not a 30-point blowout. It's not a 39-point blowout. But that's up to the Knicks. Tom Thibodeau puts maybe too much trust in some of these guys to run read and react, to run proper plays, to diagnose plays. That's on Tibbs too. How the hell is Karl Anthony Towns getting pushed out of the paint by Jaylen Brown, who is a strong player, don't get me wrong, but that happened in a second. I'm like, bro, how are you getting pushed out? One of the most frustrating things by Jaylen Brown, bro, go back to last Celtics game. This dude does not want to play drop. He wants to play drop back, does not want to play up on the screens. Partially is because the team does a terrible job in terms of tag help and then having the help defense coming to the middle, the wing defenders. That's one thing. But largely lies in the fact that he doesn't trust his feet laterally. But the funniest thing, go back, there's literally 2 shots I remember. The shot right after Jason Tatum took that the layup off the moving screen from Cornette, who did that all game. They didn't call it out. Go back to that shot, and there's another shot, I want to say in the second half. Where Karl Anthony Towns played Jason Tatum fine enough in isolation. Both these shots, he played well in isolation. Jason Tatum missed a shot. Karl Anthony Towns is not, I don't know what it is, bad body balance. He doesn't trust his feet, but it's like, it's the most frustrating thing with him. So, again, to me, man, I'm not saying that we're going to beat Celtics. I'm not saying we're going to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, but we're right there. I don't feel like this is a totally downtrodden situation where we just have no hope. I think many times we allow teams to pile onto us, and we fall apart. We try to do too much. We try to rush back into the game and get that 3 back. Oh, man, we had a 2-point lead. Now it's a 5-point lead. I got to come down and rush and shoot a 3, which one of the shots Cat did. Just come down and just shoot the 3. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Slow the freaking game up. Okay, Derek White hit a 3. Slow the game up. Get a foul. The offense was working in the 3rd quarter. Why go away from that? But let me get to I got Nick here, but salute to Nick, man. How you doing, bro? I haven't talked to my guy Nick in a while, man. How you doing, fam?
What's up? I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
So yeah, I had a few slides. It's just questions that I had.
Hey man,
Why we?
hold on. I just gotta give Darcy one compliment. I ain't gonna.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
just. He had to be rolling one, dude. Like why?
Of course, of course. He's
The hairline
look
is
at him.
crispy. I'm not even gonna knock it. The hairline crispy. So
Yeah,
that's about
hairline
it.
crispy, man. I can't do that, but hairline's crispy, bro. Salute to you, man. My hairline is, God don't love me. But yeah, a few questions I want to ask for tonight, man. Why we can't beat, or at least bring up why we can't beat the elite teams. Poor production from the wings. Excuse me. Macabre Bridges, OJ Anunoby have been some of the biggest disappointments. Probably the biggest disappointment to me. Say what you want
Yeah.
about Cat. Cat has been productive, and he has been impactful. I think he's
Yeah.
playing a lot better than he has
Been
in
knocking
years
for
prior.
toughness. He's been
Playing with
tough.
playing a lot more toughness on the
Yeah.
offensive end. I think, and I did put one of the reasons why I lose to elite teams. I think when we do play the elite teams, Cat does turn into a kitten at times, like he did that second game against the Celtics. Another point, too much on Brunson's shoulders allows teams to just double team Brunson if he goes on a hot streak and then basically shut down an offense because no one else is producing. Take the ball out of his hands, which is very easy when your offense is at the time is very one player centric. No consistent depth production. Again, guys with the bench. Even though I will say Cameron Payne had a solid game last
Yes.
game, 7 points straight off the bench, and then he only got like 10 and a half or 10 minutes.
10.
11
Yeah.
minutes.
It was anyway.
Crazy. And he came in, and he would probably had 9 if he made that one layup, but he kind of like.
I actually didn't think Shamit played too bad either, but
He didn't. No, he did hit 2 threes, but it's like how many times did he do that? But and the last two, we don't seek out our team's best offensive players. I just see that, especially in this Cavaliers. We've done it against the Hawks as well too, where we don't hunt other teams' offensive players who are also defensively inept. Trae Young, I've seen him hide way too many times versus the Knicks just throughout the past years. We did the same thing against the Cavaliers with Garland, Donovan Mitchell, even though Garland was hurt. So last game wasn't the greatest of examples. I think Garland had like 10 points, but we don't use our offensive players to kind of bludgeon and hurt the teams. And last point is that teams smell blood. They know the Knicks kind of panic when the lead is the deficit's getting greater for the Knicks, and they know the scout report is out there. Dribble drive penetration, kick out to the outside, and take threes. You'll wear out the Knicks. Run Macabre Bridges through every pick and roll possible through the first few quarters, and he'll be tired. He can't be the point of attack, quick guy, quick point of attack defender in the third, fourth quarters because he's gassed out. Tom Thibodeau plays many minutes, runs small rotations. So the scout report is out on the Knicks. That's why teams will come in. I forget which bad team he played that we won against. Was it the? Damn, was it the Bulls? I'm trying to remember which one. I'm not sure if it was the Bulls, but they came out jacking up threes. I'm like, this is not even y'all forte. Like, y'all not a 3-point shooting team.
but the Bulls the Bulls lead the up there in like the most threes taken.
No,
they just
so it's not the Bulls. It was a team we beat like by. If we go back, any team, I'll go back and look at the teams we played. So it wasn't the Bulls, it wasn't the Hawks, but it was a trash team that we played. Maybe not the Raptors. It was a trash team we played, and they were just jacking up shots. I'm like, this is not your game. But the scout report is out. Take the threes versus the Knicks. You'll get decent looks and take your chances from there. So I just want to ask you guys, when we talk about why we're losing to elite teams, what are your reasons? Is it just talent? Is it style of play? Just lack of production from key players? What do you think are the biggest reasons as to why the Knicks are losing to said elite teams? 0-7 versus Cavaliers and the Celtics and OKC.
I could take this one. So my thing has been pretty much on Mikal. I've really focused in on Mikal. I don't like the idea, and Hinton and I and Coach were kind of like conversing about this, but that dribble drive penetration and going to the rim looking for fouls, getting guys into foul trouble. All right, guys, the league has adjusted to Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
Like he's not drawing as much fouls, right? That last Celtics game, he didn't have any free throws.
None.
And
Crazy.
they are probably one of the most disciplined teams when it comes to defending, period. They also defend with length. Pause if you want to throw
No,
a pause.
you okay? It's all right. That was allowable.
Yeah. But anyway, so um, the idea that the Celtics is like their own beast in of itself. Everyone else is kind of like down to earth, and I wanted to point out some things with Cleveland specifically. Everyone jacks up a ton of threes against the Knicks. Specifically with Cleveland, only 4 players took and made the bulk of their threes, or at least the ones that I would even guard. It was Donovan Mitchell. He was like 5 for 6, so he could barely miss. I think Ty Jerome was another one.
Yep.
Garland took 6, only made 1, so that was barely a threat. There was somebody else. Oh, DeAndre Hunter.
Yep.
He made some. So like between those 4, I feel like okay. I'm gonna just say this, and this is where, from a lineup standpoint, for those who like to see Josh Hart go to the bench, that will be one fix to me. And start Deuce over Josh Hart. Okay. The only reason why is because Deuce McBride has shot the ball as well as he has, and also can play that pit bull on ball defense. Like he slips screens, he does things a lot better. I would actually play Deuce against Cleveland and also Boston in the starting lineup. I don't feel like those teams are teams for Precious Achua to get any minutes, period. Like, I just don't see it. I don't think he'll get minutes against in the playoffs against these kinds of teams. Everyone else, I think it's fair game for Precious to get minutes. I just because the ball. How many times did we see the ball get swung to him while he was in the corner, the easiest 3 on the planet, and it's an air ball or it's a miss. Clank.
Or if you guys remember the Cleveland game, there were several plays. I remember one where I want to say it was a Cleveland game where Cat was getting like the ball or like driving into like that post area, right?
Yeah.
But Achua was on the outside, right? So it was already weird spacing. But if Achua was a capable 3-point shooter, that's an easy shot because the way Cat was into the post, he's almost blocking the other guy. Like he could have just passed behind himself and then passed, and just set a pin down on both his guy who's kind of playing off and then whoever Achua had. But then Achua, he didn't even pass to Achua. Play gets janky. They end up missing the shot, and it's like you can't. Achua is such a minus when we talk about just the offensive fluidity. Like even though his corner 3-point shot, I actually think it's not that bad, but it's like you don't trust him from there. Right.
Yeah,
so
well, but again, too, like the defense, he's okay. Back in the day, we used to say he open for a reason. Like that applies here. He's open for a reason. That means they're doubling off of Achua and saying he could have any shot he wants, and if he makes it, cool. He got to make 4 before we even defend him. That ain't happening no time this century. So I get it. I just think from an X's and O standpoint, I understand Tibbs thinks rebound, but that's the one thing I disagree with Tibbs on. I think Deuce should start in these kind of games. And then again, too, he's the youngest too. So like, run that kid. Like I don't care if you're gonna give somebody major minutes, play the youngest one. Like he's a young bull. So go.
Only thing with that though. Oh, go ahead, Darcy. And
Should I pause on that one, Isaiah? I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. Let's go. First of all, what's
God damn, man,
Lord. Yes.
Get some holes, man. You good?
Wait, what'd you say?
Your voice was sounding like you had something in there, like
Oh no, man. I just had a long day, man. I'm extremely tired.
The prison yard giving you trouble.
Not yet, man. Not yet.
All right.
But it's good to see you, Gay, and Darcy. Good to see
Yeah,
you, man.
why can't you just say his first name? Hell, yeah, Corny.
Hey,
Yo,
listen,
Kenny
he
Roosevelt,
calls me a
buddy.
fat ass. I call him gay. This is how we do things, man.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I lost 33 pounds, Nick, so you can't really call me a fat ass
Okay.
no more, man.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Congrats, man. That's beautiful.
More like Slim Bubba now, huh?
yeah, man. Yeah. But so I mean, so Nick, I will say this though. So I'm leaning. I get where you're coming from because again, Deuce has proven, and it's actually been an ongoing thing that even going back last year when Deuce has started, he's been an absolute positive. Like there's not,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't believe there's been a game where he hasn't been a contributor. So my thing though is, I'm leaning towards more. We need to put a senator, and I say that because again, right? My biggest gripe is not the scoring or us. We know when we face these teams because if you want to be technical, most teams are 0-7 or 0 and whatever to the three
Yeah.
top teams in the league. So I get it, and I know people are trying to put us in contention. I don't like this year. I don't think we're in contention, but I do think the thing that we can improve on again, right? People got to remember the three teams that are top teams have been together for years. I mean, we're talking about we're going back dating the Boston Celtics when people were telling everybody was saying Jason Tatum and Brown can't play together. They need to be separated. You're talking about the OKC Thunder team that's literally they all grew up together. Starting from this league, and then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers that are finally healthy. So it's going to take time for a team that's for a team like us to be there. But I'm more leaning towards putting center, like again, it could be Hup next year or Mitch, it depending if we're gonna whatever we do. But when our biggest issue is that when you have to hide your center and your point guard, it's just to me is a recipe for disaster. I don't think the Knicks should go smaller. I think the Knicks should just again take Josh. I'm taking Josh off the first unit. I believe that you should let Hart and Deuce run the second unit. That's their job. Run the second unit. You put
I agree.
McHale in the 2, OG in the 3, Cat at the 4, and Mitch. Now you got 3 guys that should be able to cover for what we're going on with Brunson and Cat, because again, nobody's gonna say it out loud, but Cat is the reason why. Like our defense looks so bad. Our perimeter defense looks bad, even though I know perimeter defense has always been not the best, but when you're having to mask your center, I mean, you're just asking for trouble. So
But
again,
Isaiah, quick question. I understand that. I just want you to answer this question for me. So we made that run against Boston, right? The lineup was Brunson, Deuce, OG. I don't know if McHale was in the game. I don't think he was in the game. So, and then you had Hart and what's his name? Got our center, Cat.
Cat.
All right, so that was the lineup. We made a run. We came back, cut the game within like 4 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at how we played, like up to the ball. The defense was like called out. Even Cat was effective on defense. When they made their switch and they started to like expand their lead again, the only thing that they really did was just bring a screener to Jason Tatum. Like Jason Tatum took the ball and they said screen OG, and they just expanded the lead back out. What would a center do in that situation, especially like Hakapori or whoever else?
So that is a good one. But I will say this though, too, Nick, to kind of go with my point is I do remember when they cut the lead to 4. And then I believe if I'm not mistaken, that's when Cat did the Porzingis did the alley oop, and Cat was looking like, "Yo, what's going on?" Again, I don't know if that was bad communication. Now again, I do agree with you, Nick. It's going to be tough for us because there's not that much a center can do when it comes to the screening, and then you're asking your center to guard Jason Tatum in those situations.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like when they force us to switch because okay, like Mikal is catching hell going around screens and chasing people.
Yep.
Right? He's working very hard. I'm pretty sure that's affecting his offense too.
Yep.
I think they should be looking to switch at least with the perimeter 4. Like just play a switching defense and have Cat play like a zone roamer or something like that.
And you know what's crazy though, Nick? I'm sorry, not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
This, I don't know how some people felt. This is, I was hoping to get like a Ben Simmons.
Okay.
I know some people. Just for the defense a little bit, man. Just for the defense.
He still defends. He still plays.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
I mean, I heard he's doing good in the Clippers, man. He's doing decent.
Was he like the 14 guy? So he just comes in.
No, he's playing a rim running center on offense and drive and kick.
Oh yeah, driving kick. Yeah.
Good defense. I mean, his defense has been good.
I guess that's if the defense is fine. But again, we couldn't do anything until the 28th, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be able to sign him anyway because his money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 40 million, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
But nigga, like I said, like going back to what you were saying before, I do agree with you. Is this? I just think Cat is a big reason why I feel like our defense isn't there to be, because again, right, to be a championship level team, you have to be a top 10 in offense, which the Knicks are.
Yeah.
And you got the bare minimum. You have to be the 12th defensive rating team. That will get you into title contention.
Well, but okay, the one team that did that and won was Denver, and they were the 15th defense.
But that's what I said on average, because usually bare minimum is usually the 12th. That's like usually the lowest.
I get it.
That
but
a team
I'm
can
just
be
saying, like,
different.
if you had hope of like getting a little higher, 15th is not far out of reach by comparison.
No, I think when we get Mitch back, I do think we'll end up 14th or 15th.
Okay.
But again, like I know it's just tough because it's just I'd rather more focus on the defense, and I know that Army again, Hughes does help with both sides because he's one tenacious dude. It just I would probably go bigger because I mean besides the Cavs, I mean OKC and Boston are pretty big teams.
Okay.
OKC's more of a smaller. I mean Cleveland's more of a smaller team. Besides the centers, everybody else is pretty small.
Hey Darcy, did you any thoughts on this? Exactly what's ailing the Knicks against these elite teams? Like, what will your diagnosis be exactly? Why are we losing to these elite teams?
I think it's a mental battle, bro. I don't think we're going into these games being confident that we can win. Last year, we could confidently go into every game and feel like we had a chance to win. Last year's team was just that gritty. Dante played with that tenacity. And then also we had rim protection, right? We're lacking that this year. If you look at Karl Anthony Towns' defensive rating, it's not good. And you're not going to be a good team. You're not going to be a contending team if your defense is not fortified. And it starts there. And if OG and Mikal have to account for JB and Town so much, I think that just makes it harder for them to play good point of attack defense because they could be making up for so much more. I think last year OG was more intimidating because he also had Hartenstein there to help provide some rim protection, or at least a big that can consistently provide rim protection. Karl Anthony Towns is not that guy. For his career, he has about a 110 defensive rating. Oh no, he has a 109 defensive rating. He's at 110 right now. So he's right around what he's been for his career. But he's not a good rim protector, and that's not what his role is on this team. And then I also feel like the question has to be asked, is Thibs maximizing the talent on this roster? Which, if I were answering that question, I would say no. Mikal Bridges, his usage is down 20%. how do you get that back up to where he's getting adequate touches, right? You saw Thibs when he had R.J. Barrett here. Thibs would play R.J. Barrett with the second unit and let him really be that guy. I saw him kind of trying to do that with Macau, and I think maybe he, I don't know what happened there, but I don't think that's something that we've consistently gone to or have seen to know whether that can be effective or not. But I think we're still trying to carve out what Macau's role is with this team. And I think getting Mitch back and making Mitch the starting center, I want to scrap this whole having Josh Hart being a starter thing. We've seen the team be able to do well offensively, but they still have not established an identity yet, and we're midway through the season. And then clearly defensively, they are not there. They've played well enough offensively, and they've played decently enough defensively to be able to go and be third seed in the East. But in order to beat teams like Cleveland and Boston, who have been together for 2+ years and who have an established identity and way of playing, in order for us to beat them, we have to have the fundamentals in place, which is rim protection. We've seen 2 games now where the Knicks have been able to cut the lead against Boston, and Boston just goes on another run. You have to be able to get stops in this league. And it starts with having a rim protector there. Mitchell Robinson led the team in steals. If you look at the Knicks' offensive rebounding over the past 3 games against the Celtics, we had 5 offensive rebounds the first game, 7 offensive rebounds the second game, and 7 offensive rebounds this previous game. Mitchell Robinson had 7 offensive rebounds against the Celtics the last time he played them. So that's one player alone who's racking those numbers up. And as a team, that's what we're getting as a collective. You can't have a game where JB is out rebounding Macau and OG. OG had 2. Macau had 0. JB had 3 rebounds.
And real quick, Darcy, sorry to cut you off. Let me say something real quick, man. If I hear anybody else say this on mainstream media, Jalen Brunson is playing his ass off on defense.
He is. I don't know what people are talking about, bro.
He's playing his last game. It wasn't even last game. When I saw your man hedge and run back to him, I said, "Hey, yo, whoa!" Remember? Oh, damn. Was it Cleveland? He had somebody in the post. Not when he drew the foul or committed the foul. He was denying somebody the ball. I'm
I don't remember who it was.
And he did it, and they couldn't make the entry pass, bro.
Yeah.
I said, nah, I don't want to hear that narrative that JB ain't trying his. Think about your. This does not happen. Your number one offensive guy is playing out of his ass on defense like that. My bad, Darcy. Go ahead, bro. I didn't mean to cut you. I just had to throw that in there. Go ahead, bro.
No, I was just about to say, I think he made Kristaps even have a turnover or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. To me, JB has not been that much of a liability defensively. To me, Towns is, and he's giving us what he can get. But I think Towns is an issue. I think Bridges is an issue. And I'm not gonna sit there and throw the card out and say, oh, we messed up trading those 5 picks. I think a part of that is we did mess up because we gave up Dante in that trade, and we had to give up Dante. We didn't have really many other options to give up in the trade, so we don't know how having those picks would have helped us. We don't know if they would have helped us keep Dante because we traded for Macau.
Those picks were going, Darcy. Those picks were going, man. Where the Knicks were gonna keep those picks, man. They were using them to join us.
No, I'm not talking about them not using them at all. But I'm saying because we gave them up for Macau, we did not have them as leverage when it came to negotiating for Towns. You had no choice but to include a player of equal value because you couldn't give those picks. You didn't have those picks available to really give. And so,
can I say a side note too? Side note, please, man, real quick. Knicks fans, please don't start, because I know I've already been seeing it. I've been seeing oh man, we could use these picks to get Giannis. Stop that. I don't want to hear that, man. If he wants to come here, he'll come here. But sorry, continue, Darcy. Sorry, that was a side.
Yeah, but like I said, Macau, when you look at his defensive rating, and I'm not saying the defensive rating is the teller of all, but it's an average over around the key variables for defense. He's not ranking high enough for guards and they're sliding him as a small forward. But if you look at two guards with the highest defensive rating, you have guys like Amen Thompson and Anthony Edwards. You have a couple of other guys. That DeMar DeRozan even has a better defensive rating than Mikal Bridges, and these are guys who are giving you more offensively. Honestly, and I hate to be a guy to kind of throw this out there, the Knicks wouldn't necessarily be in the wrong for trading Mikal for R.J. Barrett, because even R.J. Barrett is putting up better numbers than Mikal Bridges right now. He's averaging 3 points more, shooting around the same from the field, shooting 36% from three, and is averaging 6 rebounds and 4 assists per game, which you're not getting from Mikal Bridges right now. So the thing about it is, you would get better production from these players than you would from having Mikal Bridges, at least if we're going on stats alone. Now, Mikal Bridges
But you also have to add in the context too, right? And this is what Charles Barkley was saying, right? And there's no this RJ. RJ is my guy. Is that can he translate those stats to this team? I know Randall's gone. I get it. But would RJ be putting up those same numbers on this squad? I think off the bench, RJ would be a beast with this squad, where you just depend on him as your playmaker, your end-all be-all, right? We've seen RJ when he's in Read and React, the Heat games a few years ago. He can do it. I just don't know if if you insert him into that lineup, he would probably have the same responsibilities as Mikal Bridges, right?
I was about to say that, man.
But I think those catch and shoots, and he's not a catch and shoot. I love RJ's my guy, but he's not a catch and shoot guy. So it's like
honestly, his slashing and toughness is why I'm saying RJ.
But that's why he'd probably be better off the bench. Think about this. If RJ come in and bludgeon your team's secondary defenders, right? When the other stars got to sit or they're sitting and you're trying to maybe stagger some lineups or something like that, but you still have, say, Garland there and whatever, man, just put RJ out there as your main playmaker, run, read, and react, call some pick and rolls for RJ, and let him do his thing. Let him attack the basket. But I'm just saying, like, as a starter with the Jalen Brunson or whatnot, I'm just not sure if – I'm just not sure if it'll work, because with those guys, you need catch and shoot guys with Brunson and Cat.
I think I would have to agree with Guillermo, because again, Darcy, I love RJ Barrett, but for this team, for what they need, Mikel's a better fit, because if you're asking RJ to do what Mikel has to do, I'm sorry, man, just maybe not right now. Just he wouldn't be able to do it.
RJ gave us more than what Mikal is giving us right now. What are we talking about?
Different roles.
No.
It's different roles, bro.
No, I side with Darcy on this one.
Nah,
this is one I side with you on. That
Darcy. I
you know why you siding with him? Why you siding?
Okay, number one in the Cleveland series, RJ was good as the second fiddle to Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
Number two, hold on. Let me continue. Number two, why RJ has been thriving in
a losing team.
On a losing team, fine, if you want to say that. On a losing team is because they could run 5 out, and they don't have a center at the rim or a power forward like Julius Randle just sitting underneath the rim just waiting for rebounds. Like RJ, Julius, and also Mitch was trying to get to the same spots under the rim, same every game, and that did clog up the lane for RJ. So when he goes to Toronto, and I gotta give him credit, I did not see it coming, but he started finishing way better at the rim in a 5-out offense. We have a 5-out offense center. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I can't say what y'all two are saying doesn't make sense. Yes, the second unit would benefit, but you could bring RJ in just to play as a 6-man role with the starters and get way more production because of Cat being in the game with him.
And let's talk about it. Mikal has struggled to get to the rim and really break down the defense and serve as his own shot creator. Right? He can get that mid-range losing team, but I actually have watched RJ's game. To me, he actually has improved. He's worked on his game, and his ability to slash and get to the rim at will, even if he's not shooting well. RJ has not been a great shooter, but he's still giving you 18 points a game, which Mikal is struggling to give us. RJ can get to the rim at will and get you 2 points. our offense has struggled to get points at times, and you see Mikal has struggled to get 10 points. And it didn't start here. He struggled to do that on the Nets. You know how many times I would put him on my parlay last year, and he couldn't give me 10 points? So I wasn't that high on Mikal for those reasons. So to me, honestly, I feel like RJ, because of how Thibs used him last year, he staggered him with the second unit. So I think RJ would actually thrive better in this role.
That's why I said with the second unit. I said RJ would do good with the second. I just don't know as.
No, but I mean him. I want him starting, and then you take him out the game early, and then you put him back in with the second.
I really just disagree with that because, again, right? We gotta remember this not 2K. This is not 2K, bro, and I mean that, and I say that by.
I don't even play 2K.
Nah, I know, but I'm saying that because I'm not saying you, but people use like if you take this player and put him in this situation. Yeah, I remember when you go back, right, when Mikal was on the Nets, he was the number one option, so they guarded him like a number one option. And then when we're talking about RJ Barrett is thriving on a losing team. Like, I think we got to put that in we got to put that in perspective, in context, because you're saying, again, I always said when RJ is in his prime, RJ is going to give you 27, 7, and 7. That's going to be RJ. My thing with RJ is that he's not doing this. Mind you, he came from a winning program with the Knicks to go into Toronto, where they've won 10, 15 games. Well, how many games?
I look at him the other night. I watched them play the other night because I'm an RJ fan, so I still watch his games when he plays. Mm-hmm. I see way more aggressive, way more confident, and overall just a better player. He's rebounding the ball way better than he did as a Knick. He's passing the ball way better than he did as a Knick. And if you look at his three-point shooting, he won before. I mean, after he got traded to Toronto, he shot 40% from three. He's shooting 36% on the season. He struggled with some health injuries this year. But you look at a team like Toronto, who doesn't have really great spacing, especially because they didn't have the menu quickly. He was still shooting around 38 to 39%. He just dipped down to 36. And he's missed a lot of games.
But we also got to remember he's doing this with no pressure, no expectations.
Bro, it's not RJ has done this. What are you talking about, bro?
But some of RJ's best games under the Knicks, like I said, when you go back to the Heat, RJ, when he the ball control, when he got and we lost that game too against Heat, you're right. He had like 46 or 48, 46, 42, whatever points, 40-something points. When he's allowed to run, read and react, and has that control in the offense. And granted, I think RJ being as a big wing ball handler opens, you allow JB to play off the ball, right? And you could run some pick and roll with him and Cat, but then you take out the defense is going to suffer, right? I can't sick RJ on teams best.
I agree.
Say 2 3s and some smaller 4s like you do with Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, you can.
Nah, you can. Oh, hell no.
Well, okay.
Bro, ain't no defender like that. Stop it, bro.
We've seen RJ at the 2, bro. He's not a hard.
I'm talking about defending. I'm not just talking about scoring, bro. RJ at the 2 he's not a good defender. And RJ's my guy. He's not a good defender.
So, but let me ask you this: if you just also let's take away the idea of RJ for a second, what would be the type of wing that you would say would be better served on this team versus Mikal? Like, if you were to replace Mikal seriously with a different wing.
I looked at that today. I would target Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane would be my guy. I looked at his defensive rating.
Hey, that's Guillermo. That's Guillermo's guy. He caught it when they drafted him.
Yeah, Desmond Bane. I would call Houston to see if I could get Amen Thompson. I know they won't get that.
That's not happening, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
Darcy, we got to be realistic. I mean,
Darcy,
I think
you had the right team, Darcy. I would go after Tari Eason.
Or give me Trey Murphy.
Trey Murphy, too. Yeah, so Trey Murphy, bro. I go after Tari Eason, Trey Murphy. Go ahead.
I'll be realistic. I think Trey Murphy would take a few more picks. I think Earson we could definitely get. I think a realistic one would be what's my dude from the Sixers? That'd be kind of killing us sometimes. Kelly Oubre. I wouldn't be mad about Kelly Oubre.
He has a better defensive rating, and he has good size to him, and he can get you at least 10 points a night. But again,
And I think Kelly Oubre is affordable for us that we can get him.
Honestly, I'll take, and I hate to, it sounds crazy to say this, but the numbers paint a different picture. DeMar DeRozan, technically,
No, I'm good on that.
I'm just going off by the numbers. His stats this season versus Macau, he is a better overall player than Macau.
You're gonna get smoked on defense.
Huh?
You're gonna get smoked on defense with DeRozan.
He has a better defensive rating than Macau right now. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, this context, and by the way, of course, Jason Tatum has a stinker tonight, 19 points versus the freaking Raptors, 7 for 18. I hate the Celtics, bro. They pick and choose when they want to. Anyway, they won tonight.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah,
they make statements against us.
I know. And he hit some shots. But my point is that Mikal Bridges, and thank you, Nick, because I've said this before. Mikal Bridges is getting ran. He's getting run ragged out there. Like it's almost tough to. I'm not trying to make no excuses, but it's almost tough to really compare what he has to do on defense versus what other teams have to do. Because you add the fact that he has to be a wing that attacks closeouts, a wing that has to shoot. So you're talking about losing your legs. Like I said, they run Mikal Bridges through 30 billion screens in the first half to take out his defensive, the potential defensive impact at point of attack. OG can't move like that until he's, can't say fully, 85% healthy. So he's not really run out there. Even though you saw him against the Celtics, he played against Tatum at times and stuff like that. But I think they try to reserve him. They don't want against these smaller guards. And even then, he's been getting beat to the basket too, OG and Anunoby. So,
and also too, he gets screened off. Like he doesn't snake around screens like Mikal.
Hell no. And it's suited to Luke Cornett for all the moving screen. He had like every screen was like a moving screen, which is crazy against the Knicks. But to compare, to say that DeMar DeRozan don't have no damn defensive responsibilities. Like the Kings don't play no damn defense. What?
And the center sucks. Oh my God!
Watch them. So you doing too much, Nick. I said they all right. You know what? Look, they don't play defense. But anyway, let me just get to this real quick. Just the what I think some of the solutions would be, right? So just from what I've been seeing. Sorry to cut you off, though. I'm gonna get back to you, Darcy. The things I'm seeing by this team, I do agree. Get Mikal Bridges more pick and roll with Cat. Get him more involved in the offense. Not just get it to him and shot. You know what makes me sick about the Knicks? Go back to literally the past 2 games. And the plays they start off for Brunson. At the beginning of the game, they run some cool-ish. They ran, last game they were running Iverson cuts to start the game off. The game before that, they ran floppy for Brunson, where essentially you come off the screeners at the post and you pick if you want to come off the screen of the left or the right. Basically what they ran for Reggie Miller back in the day, right? And I'm like, wait, why don't we run this more for everybody else? Not every. Sorry, I'm gonna take that back. Not everybody else, but for other guys who can shoot. Right? Mikal Bridges, I've never seen that run for him. OG, I never see that run for him. Miles McBride, I've seen him sometimes come off those low screens, but it's not necessarily a play where he's the number one option on said play. And I'm not saying you run him as a number one option for the whole possession, but to try to get him that first look. We don't do that enough. But for me, I need to see Mikal Bridges and Cat. I need to see Cat and Brunson run the damn pick and roll more, but just Mikal Bridges and Cat. Get him more so on the floor of the offense. Mikal Bridges' mid-range shot is still very good when I think he's in rhythm. Get him more rhythm shots, right? Slow the game down a little bit. Get more in the half court. I don't know if you guys heard it, but I forget who said it. But it's against the Celtics. It's like they have basically the Knicks. The offense looks better when they try to get more in the half court sets. Don't try to run on the Celtics team. Don't try to force quick shots in transition. Try to get them on the half court set and give yourself a chance. I forget who said it on the stream.
So, Gilbo, do you think this is that part of when you're explaining the offense and setting more things for other players? Do you think that's based on like Tom Thibodeau's offensive scheme, or do you think it's more improvement by the coach and the coaching staff?
No, I'm saying they have to do it more. Wait, you saying that? Am I saying that they?
No, I'm saying, do you think this is? I'm saying, do you think that part is on the coaching staff and Thibs when it comes to?
Oh yeah. I put. I know they run a lot of react and a lot of plays to the side, but I say 70% as on the coach. You have to instill that in the players. Like, it has to be embedded in their DNA. So if they're not doing it, like, you got to go out there and remind them. And it has to. You have to just have a. I think I don't say bigger voice. It's not the right way to put it, but you almost have to be I don't know, disciplinarian. I don't know if that's the right word, but you just have to be stringent, like strict about it. You have to be like, yo, when we see these guys in this game, pick out this guy, run this, right? And again, you're not gonna be sitting up there calling, hey, run 0, blah blah on each play, but you gotta instill these guys, yo, let's get these plays from McConnell. That comes through you doing it in practice, right? It has to be your second nature. So then Tibbs doesn't have to tell you, okay, do this. It has to, okay, Brunson's gonna run that, Cat's gonna run that, McConnell's gonna, like, it has to be embedded. But I put that 100% on the coach. Not 100, excuse me, like 70% on the coach. Because then they run plays, but then I think as their legs get tired, they're trying to fight against deficits, especially against these top teams. You kind of see them they go into this, the Knicks, the players, they go into this this automatic mode of just running ISO, just running basic stuff. And granted, a lot of teams do the same thing too. When you get late into games, it's going to be ISO, it's going to be basic stuff to get the ball to your best players. But when you're in these third quarter of games, or even the fourth quarter to start out, man, sometimes the hot hand needs to be fed. Until then, the starters come back late in the game. Like, how many times you seeing Cameron Payne come in 7 points off the bench and then nothing? Miles McBride, few good touches, nothing. Shamet, few good touches, ain't still in the game in the fourth quarter, but nothing. He's just sitting in the corner now because the game is Brunson, the game is Cat, until either Brunson or Cat comes back. So this doesn't make any sense. So, and at other points, I'm gonna shut up and I get back to you guys, man. McCabbers, like I said, running more in the offense, more pick and roll with him. Get Cat's butt in the damn low post. I'm tired of seeing Cat play as this big wing, especially when these elite teams are missing plays. That second game against the Celtics, some of the most disgusting basketball I've seen, where Jaylen Brown, who's a strong player, was pushing Cat out the post. That makes no sense. Get the damn ball to Cat in a post. Let him attack the basket. Let them draw the double teams. That's where you get the cutters. You get the guys on the outside. Makes the offense a lot more simple. I'm tired of seeing Cat as this 5-out big-ass wing, and when the defense collapses in the middle, he doesn't have these open looks. Now the offense is stagnant. Now the deficit becomes 7, 8, or 7, 9, 13, 15. Now we down by 25. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Simplify the offense. More Miles McBride point of attack defense. I don't know if you guys saw. I think he held opponents against the Celtics. I think it was like 3 for 12. And one thing I like about Miles McBride, even though defensively this year he's kind of regressed a little bit, but when he's engaged, you see the point of attack defense could be rather strong, could get into pause, but can get underneath players and get in their grills to basically disrupt their dribbling. I think he's probably our best lateral defender on this team. Yeah, he probably is. So yeah, let's drop back Cat. Like I said, I'm tired of seeing this drop back. But that also means when Cat doesn't play drop back, if you go back to the Celtics game, the taggers on the outside got to be a lot better in helping. I'm tired of Kevin Payne. I'm tired of OG. I'm tired of even Miles. I'm tired of these guys that when you see the guy a mile away attacking the basket because he blew right past pause, Cat or whatever off the screen, they just sit there and they're scared to step up and take the charge. Go back to the Celtics game, the second one. How many times Cameron Payne on the tag defense not stepping up? Huck Purdy also did it too in the second game versus Celtics. We did it last game against the Celtics too. Everybody wants to kill Cat, and I kill Cat too, but the times when Cat actually steps up and they get past him, where's the help defense? Tom Thibodeau's offense is predicated on forcing the defense to make offense to make as many passes as possible and take a shot late in the quarter, in the possession. And I'll give it to the Knicks. The Knicks rotation defense last game was a lot better than the second game, but there are a lot of lapses still where it's like, bro, like you have to stay engaged defensively. Get OG in the post. He can't move. That foot, he's laboring, but try to get OG some clean looks. Get his ass in a post. Don't even make him this attacking closeout type of wing because he can't move for nothing. His confidence is also shot too. This man was passing when he was right in the paint. I'm just like, dogs, throw the ball up. I don't care if you're missing, but just throw the ball up the rim. Last but not least, wings, make your effing shots. I don't know how else to put this. Cat, OG, and Macau, got to make your shots. Like, and I understand the legs are on Macau, but you guys getting these open threes where we're down by 9, but there's a rhythm to it. We don't know, like a nice 10-0 run, 8-0 run, down by 9, can get it within 6, got to force these guys to call timeout, regroup, and you're missing these threes, then we get back down by 12, get back down by 15. So some of these misses that Macau and OG have had against these elite teams, especially the last few games, have against the Celtics and Cavaliers have been some heartbreaking missed threes. I don't know if you guys, it's like when you have a momentum, bro. Sometimes see, like even the Celtics, we got it all the way down when we were down by 11, and yeah, man, Missoula had to call timeout. I was like, wait, hold on, we're not allowing this team to do that, and we still look good until things fell apart near the end of the third. But anyway, I'll shut up, man. If you guys please chime in, how do you think we could beat these elite teams without a buyout, some new player coming in, or wait until next year? Is there a way to beat some of these elite teams? Is it Tom Thibodeau's coaches? Is it scheme-wise? Is it defense? Was it, what are you guys seeing that you say maybe there's some hope when it comes to the playoffs that we could beat some of these elite teams?
My answer is flat out going to be Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, Lord.
And I mean, I'm just being realistic here. This is the only thing that I can see really coming into fruition that can help us out as a team. You add Mitch into the starting lineup, right? So you have from the start of the game rim protection, because the Celtics seem to dominate us in the first quarter, and then we struggle to have to fight back and try to get back in the game. You need to have rim protection to start the game. Someone that can disrupt what they're doing, that can disrupt them trying to spray the ball, and that's going to put pressure on the rim, right? They had 5 more offensive rebounds than us, so Mitch can help with that. And those offensive rebounds, they lead to second chance points. For every offensive rebound, that could be 3 points you're missing out on. So that's the difference of 15 points if you really think about it. That those are 5 offensive rebounds. If they shot 5 threes off of those offensive rebounds that they got. So I mean, again, we look at these things and we discount them, but they matter. They make a difference in the game. A 15-point differential, that's the game right there. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, you need Mitchell Robinson out there. I think the last time he played him, he had a monster game: 13 points, 14 rebounds. 7 of those 14 were offensive rebounds. You need that out there. It makes a difference, and it helps make the battlefield a little even. And then when you take Josh Hart out of that lineup, you increase Mikal Bridges' usage, right? His usage is down 20% from last season. So you're expecting him to play well defensively, but then he's also not getting touches on the offensive end. Sometimes it's a player needs to get that offense going, which brings out their defense the best, right? You look at a player like Devo, he was shooting the ball so well. I think that also just made him more feisty on the other end of the ball. So you need that. The player has to be, his morale needs to be where it needs to be for him to play at his highest level. And so, like I said, when his shot is falling, I think he plays better defensively versus when it's not. So you take Josh Hart out of there, right? Because even Ian said it himself. Josh Hart is the second ball handler. I think we need to see Mikal having the ball in his hands more, and see where that gets us, right? And you're going to create more shots for OG. Josh Hart is not shooting the ball. He didn't shoot the ball against the Celtics, and he's a good slasher. He's good at getting to the rim and getting two, but you can take that and get that off the bench, and that bring you more value than your starting lineup. Because you need OG and Mikal getting adequate touches. You even saw OG before he went down with that foot injury. He had 3 games where he was playing well offensively, and he said he needed to get himself. He had to inject himself into the offense. You take Josh Hart out of that, then these guys get more touches. Josh Hart is giving you at least 10 points per game, so now you're getting more touches for OG. You're getting more touches for Mikal, so these guys can get in rhythm better. And then you add Mitch into that, so now these guys can be more aggressive when they're playing point of attack defense because you have that help defense that Mitchell Robinson is going to provide. He provides coverage on all sides of the court. So again, all these things are going to help us to be a little bit more assertive against Boston. And then you play a 4 and 5 pick and roll like Thibs did with Julius Randle and Mitchell Robinson. We had games where they were running that at least 11 times in a game because it was so effective. You run a 4 or 5 pick and roll between Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, and then Towns has the passing ability, so you figure out what that can give you and see if teams can guard that. But Thibs has to experiment. He has to test out different things, and then you call up TJ Warren. When you call him up, you let him play. Don't have a guy sitting here waiting in our G League and just to wait up to get called up to never get any minutes. You need to inject TJ Warren. You need to use guys like Pacome Dadier. You need to use guys like Kevin McCullough because you don't have the assets to really keep expanding this team. So you need to know what you have going into the offseason because you may be forced to make tough decisions in giving up talent that you haven't had a chance to evaluate. You need to use them now. We are in our first year as a team. Why are we not maximizing our roster with this new CBA in place? So I think there's a lot of things Tom Thibodeau could do. You could even take a look at seeing what Macau looks like off the bench. You have two former Phoenix players off the bench that you're not maximizing their talent with Cam Payne and Landry Shamet. Those guys were, what, a 60-win team or 50-plus win team.
Nah, bro. Come on, dogs. All right, so McCall off the bench, your defense, again, like I said, pure defender McCall is. And then Cameron, I'm sorry, Shamet has been declined since last year. Your man shot 34% from three last year. He was not. We're getting a lot from him. I don't think he's that guy.
Kevin Payne is touches, bro. It's tough. They're not getting a lot of touches, and then.
But he hasn't been. But he was never a high touch guy to begin with. Shamet.
But still, at the end of the day, this guy worked his way back from a shoulder injury. That takes time too to really get in rhythm and feel comfortable letting the ball go and finding your release again. So we don't know if that's fully happened with him. He hit some shots against Boston, which is your second round opponent. So you should want to see how he can kind of disrupt things. So you want to keep him out there. You don't want to just limit him to 5 minutes. Again, Thibs is not maximizing these guys. You're putting him on guys like Jaylen Brown or whatever. He needs to defend whoever's running point guard. That's who you put him on. He can't. He doesn't need to be. And again, he plays good defense. He doesn't give you the size, but he gives you the physicality. He's gonna bang. He's gonna buckle with these guys, and that's what you want. That's what Miles McBride does. But you have to play guys who have that identity that we had last year, and there are only a select few guys who have that. And that's Mitchell Robinson. That's Miles McBride. That's OG Anunoby. And that's Precious Achiuwa when he wants to. Right now, he's in a bit of a slump. He's not playing at a high level right now. But I don't like Precious out there because, again, he reminds me of Jericho. You have a guy who's undersized at his position. He's undersized 5. He's technically undersized power forward too. Before power forwards used to be 6'10". Precious is 6'8". He doesn't give you enough on offense. I don't like him shooting threes because that should not be the most efficient shot you can find when you have guys like Jalen Brunson or whoever else on the court. He should be the last person shooting the shot. I don't like him shooting threes. I don't like him trying to score. He should be getting putbacks around the rim, and that's it. That's all I want. I need rim protection and rebounding from my bigs, and that's what I love about Mitchell Robinson. Be a star in your role.
Let me get to the other guys, man. Nick, how do you improve this squad to be prepared in the playoffs, just from what you're seeing? What could the Knicks do differently on the court with the existing squad? And please don't give me there's nothing we could do. Come on, bro. I know you could think deep about this, bro. Please give us something.
I mean, it still boiled down to, okay, I said the Deuce McBride thing. It still stands. Deuce has been on the top 6 lineups that we have. He's like the most consistent from that standpoint. You could move him there, move Hart to the bench. You'll have two play creators against backups, essentially. And you could still give Josh Hart his minutes, like 30 minutes or whatever per game. But if you could somehow get that done, and I'm also going to throw this out there. I'm looking at Pacome Dadier, and I'm like, that guy actually can move around screens too.
Agreed.
I like his navigation. He just got to find his shot. Mm-hmm. And, it's a chicken or the egg situation with him and Tibbs. I think he'll be fine next year. I have more hope for him than Tyler Kolek. I know everyone likes Tyler Kolek, but I don't think we need Tyler Kolek. I like what I saw from Shamet, but it's hit or miss with Shamet.
Yep.
How many times can you knock on the well or knock at the door for Shamet? and not get what you need out of Shemet. You know what I mean? Like at some point in time, you got to get what's needed and get what's done. You know, like I don't know. I just don't see why go to Shemet as much. TJ Warren, I mean, that's kind of grasping at straws, but I see your point. I just don't. I don't know. I don't think there's an answer this season. Like this season to me was always a fact-finding mission for me. I did not see Cleveland coming, but man, Cleveland is a good team, and I think a lot of us are just surprised by how good they became and how fast they became good, like or skipped over us. But they were a good team last year. They were just knocking on the door. They stuck together and built chemistry. We didn't have that. We were put together at the last minute, and everyone said that they were just going to pick up where they left off from Villanova. That didn't happen. So, I mean, I see the point that some people are making, you know, how good the Villanova 3 can be, but there's a lot of work to be done with those 3.
And
So
also,
I,
too, that. Oh, go, my bad.
I just don't see it this year. I could see it years going forward. I just not this year. I don't know. I don't know what everyone is trying to get out of this season. Like we have to win this season. I don't think so. That's a farce. I don't understand that sentiment at all.
Yeah, I think people will try to rush, especially mainstream, of course, try to rush it and put us as
Of
this
course.
championship squad when that wasn't the case. Like, it was never that we were just going to jump into being a championship level team off the first year, right? It's still a process. But I agree with you a lot of points, man. Pacome, I've been wanting Tibbs. And I'm not saying it's a star, it's a savior, but to when you have young legs out there, to just run and defend at such a decent level, a solid level, bro. He can shed screens. He moves well laterally. He played pause with a lot of length in terms of like he's gonna cover a lot of radius against his defenders, vertically and horizontally. So I would love Pacome to be out there. But yeah, I just think I don't want to say be patient. I just think that some people we're kind of overreacting. I'll say it's about Cleveland too, man. They got great depth. They've been building some good depth, right? No one thought I didn't think Tyler Jerome, even though you see little glimpses when he was with OKC, but I never thought Tyler Jerome would be this dependable of a guard off the bench. And then obviously guys like Max Strus was a solid pickup from the Heat. And then DeAndre Hunter, who against the Knicks, he cannot miss. I don't know what the hell it is. Me and Darcy, we were talking about this the other day, and I was like, all right, come on, this has to be the day he doesn't hit. Your man hit. When he hit that corner 3 against us, where he just threw up the ball, I'm like, yeah, this game is over. So it's just certain players have a number. So, no, it is interesting to see the Knicks go through this, but it's all about how you bounce back, how you learn from this.
Yeah.
And it's also on tips, too, as a coach. You can never say you can't learn new, gain new wrinkles. Only thing I just don't want it to be that, because what Tip said today concerned me a little bit. This is the same Thibodeau that was playing mind games with Mitchell Robinson back a few years ago in summer camp. And he said, yo, when you're missing your starting center, I said, uh-oh. Oh, Lord. Is Tibbs getting, I don't say desperate, but like, he called, not saying he wouldn't have called Mitchell starting center because he probably has before, but the way he said it was like, damn, I don't have no answers, right? Like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll use the excuse that we're missing players and stuff like that to kind of, create the excuse as to why we're losing right now. But Isaiah, I don't know if you're still there, bro. Apologize, Isaiah, man. Did you have any solutions for this Knicks squad, what we currently have before we get into, off season and try to, I don't know, what change we made? Any trades we made? Isaiah, you there? No, Isaiah's not there.
Yeah, that's that after work sleep.
Yeah, I remember on Sim's show, you could hear this dude snoring, man. But that was wild, man. But yeah.
Hey Nick, you're pretty gay, Nick. Just want you to know that.
Wow, yo.
Yo, that prison yard got you changed, bro.
Yeah, they say you on that Oz Israel, that Adabisi. All right, let me check.
Yeah, that man not like us, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm a chill, man. Isaiah's my guy, man. F you, Nick.
Ah,
Yeah, that's
Damn.
stupid. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I fell asleep, man. I'm going to bed, man. I'm exhausted,
All
man.
right, man. Peace out, Isaiah. I need to do that, man.
all right.
Salute, man. But yeah, last question before we head out, man. Tom Thibodeau. Now, I already asked Darcy, so I'm gonna ask you, Nick, this because Nick is starting to waver a little bit, bro. He's starting to waver, man.
What do you mean?
Is Tibbs the coach?
But I said this a long time ago, bro. I said I wanted Tibbs, and you can look back at the tape because there's tape evidence.
Mm-hmm.
On nothing but Knicks. In what right before Tibbs got hired during the pandemic, I said back then I wanted Tibbs because I felt like he would be our college years as a coach.
Mm.
Said it back then. I've never wavered on that. I said no matter what, if you replace Tibbs, you gotta have a Steve Kerr type that takes over for Mark Jackson. I've never wavered on that. Like, if you're gonna fire Tibbs because he's that good of a coach, you just get a coach that definitely is going to make us a championship level team. If you can't do that, you stick it out until that coach either comes available
Mm-hmm.
or you could develop someone in the ranks. Johnny Bryant, I don't care who it is, you got to steal, call up, Ime Udoka, Tai Lu, like whatever coach it is. Like if you could steal that person, you go get them, but you don't. In other words, you don't give up the one in the hand for two in the bush at all. Like you got to keep Tibbs to stay at a certain level. To trade or to give up on Tibbs just for any old young coach, that's like trading Luka for Anthony Davis. That's the way I feel about that.
I think maybe. By the way, Luca, I don't know if you guys watching it, but your man, he was doing warm ups with Nico Harrison there on the court. He missed the three, and he started doing push ups. Nico.
You know he petty, bro. You
Yo,
know petty.
this is gonna be a great game. It's coming on at 10, so if y'all still awake, please watch it. But
I'm gonna watch it in the morning, but yeah, Luca petty. Bro.
I love,
I love petty.
hey. If I'm Luca, I'm doing the same thing.
I would too. I would too. That's my man. Like I've been following that kid since he's been 16. Stop. That man out of shape. Whatever. He productive, bro.
I still don't believe. I got my theories, man. They trying
270. Get the fuck out of here, man. Whatever.
Yeah, he never looked like he's 270. Freaking Zion.
270
at 6'6".
Yeah.
Luka's what, 6'7", 6'8", 6'7", maybe. Come on, dogs. Anyway, so guys, man, we got the Grizzlies coming up and actually playing the. They're playing right now. They're playing the Suns right now. We got not Grizzlies. I'm not bad. 76ers coming up on Wednesday. And one annoying thing too, man, the Knicks, even though they did lose recently, they lost to the Grizzlies. Almost got the
Cavs.
Is it Cavs?
I think they almost.
Yeah, it was Cavs because what's the name
beat the
dunked
Cavs,
on John Morant, Jared Allen, and the Cavs, and they were in that game. The Grizzlies, and then the Wolves against OKC, and I'm just like, yo, we're beating the teams that are at least challenging the contenders. So like, I don't know what it is. There's something there. Like there's a gap that's missed between like us getting to that spot where we could handle, or at least challenge some of these contenders. But we do have the 76ers on Wednesday. I want to get your thoughts on that, man. By the way, I think he's going to have to retire. He's going to need knee surgery so where they go into the meniscus and realign it so it could take pressure off his knee. Bro, when it gets to that, bro, is done. Like, to alleviate pain from your knee like that, I just... And also, too, when Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but I know that when you do surgery or I've heard when you do surgery on meniscus, I know what happened with... Kemba Walker, don't you create a higher probability that you get not ACL, but where you essentially cause it for greater injury in the future if you're still playing basketball? Please answer this.
I don't know. I'm not in sports matters. I'm in ER. Like I can't say that, but I can say one, when they do those surgeries, most of the time they take tendons from somewhere else. So it's kind of like you robbing from Peter to pay for Paul. And then two, a lot of these guys, or they strip the tendon and make it thinner. Like it's all kinds of stuff they do to make it work. With a guy like Embiid, I'll go with the Spurs stuff from way back. Number one, load management was developed for big men. People have to always take note of that. Like people always forget it. It was made for big men because people over 7 foot, they have short careers, and like the Spurs created it because they wanted to extend Tim Duncan's career. There's nothing you could do to help Embiid's career. Like just straight up, just being honest and looking at who you're talking about. Embiid hadn't been a healthy player from the beginning. Number two is cosmic karma because Embiid did his little dirty move against what's his name, Mitch, and it just came back to bite him in the ass, trying to show off and dunk on everybody with that little off the window and to the walls, and then oops, Embiid just fell. Like I'm telling you, like that, bro.
And I don't know what he took last year to come back in that. What was it, game 2? I said that he basically sold the rest of his career because the way he fell,
Yeah.
there was no way in the hell you come back from that. I don't know what, and his eyes are half blinking, and
people were talking about Tibbs. I'm like, y'all talking about Tibbs letting Karl Anthony Towns come back. Like, look at Embiid. Embiid was the MVP, and he came back like, I'm gonna take shots, and I got
his eye was. He looked hot, bro. Embiid didn't look like he was there, bro. It looked like he was on that. I don't know if it's turn the ball, whatever the hell it is to take away the pain, and just he was on a foul line, and there were times when one eye would literally close, and then he's trying to bro. I want to feel bad for him, but he's such a dirty player, and when he was stepping on players and stuff like that, I can't feel bad for you. But look, man, we've been hearing more and more with the team doctors. A lot of funny business recently with team doctors, so don't be surprised in a few years and B comes out and says something such and such happened, because he sold out. And people want to kill the Knicks for giving up what they did for Mikal Bridges. But I would argue Mikal Bridges still might be, I don't know if he's it might be a tough comparison. But Paul George is probably one of the most disappointing signings. Give him that money. And mind you, he just said the other day in his interview when he was like, they said something like, what's the greatest blah, 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 or thing to help you, blah, blah. He said drugs. He just straight said drugs. He's also done as like a premier player. So I love these player podcasts, man. They're great. But I think we should handle the 76ers, man. They're missing way too many players. Too many key players. Even though Tyrese Maxey,
he's good. He's a good one.
He's always been an issue against the Knicks, man. I love it. I love his game, man. And then we do have the Grizzlies on Friday. That should be an interesting one. I don't know what the game is right now with the Suns. But look, man. I think the Knicks being in third place in the East, fifth in overall wins and losses. It's time for the Knicks to grow, man. In terms of just learning from mistakes, and that's from the coaching staffs, that's from Tibbs, from the players. So people would like to look down upon this, and the people on social media like to poo-poo the Knicks. Yeah. If the Knicks do well from this, if we do better,
Knicks for clicks.
Knicks for clicks. Yeah, it's just Knicks for clicks, bro. When I'm hearing, they don't look like contenders now, but how many teams that look great in the regular season, they come out and they lose to the team that they're supposed to be in the play? And I'm not saying it happens all the time, but we've seen some. Look what happened with the Heat a few years ago. Who had the Heat coming from the play-ins? All the way to the NBA Finals. And I'm not saying the Knicks get into the NBA Finals, but it's like these fake-ass analysts, bro, they don't really move me in terms of, now it's, oh my gosh, they're letting us down. None of you guys had the Knicks in the Finals anyway. And then even look at the... Go.
You know what's funny with that, too?
Darcy, please chime in, bro.
When you think about the first time we faced Cleveland, we didn't beat them but one time in the regular season. if I'm not mistaken. Remember, everyone had picked Cleveland because they were like, they're the more talented roster.
I want to say we
They're the
beat them
better team.
twice. I want to say we beat them twice. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
check.
we beat them more than once.
Did we beat them more than once?
I
Okay,
think we
well,
beat them twice. Yeah, I think we were like 2-2.
I don't remember us being like super competitive, but everyone picked Cleveland versus us.
Mm-hmm.
It was like no competition. They said, we getting spanked, like on to the next one. Cleveland got dominated.
Mm-hmm.
And I even that year I think that year we beat Miami twice or
No,
three
I
times.
think we beat them 3 times.
Yeah, we beat them three times, and then they beat us.
Right.
I don't think regular season success is the like it should dictate how we feel about the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like yes, we should be more competitive. But I mean, just as much as we hadn't been competitive, we could easily come back and just have more wrinkles and just learn from everything. It's not as long as we have all the weapons to actually throw at them. Like God's will be done. I'm sorry. I like my chances, but Cleveland is dangerous to me. I'm not poo pooing them at all. I think they're a good team. I like what they did, and I like their chemistry. But we just need to go through the motions of building chemistry.
All right. Agreed. Darcy, any final thoughts, man? 76ers coming up. Grizzlies on Friday, bro. How you feeling, man? And salute to Darcy. Yo, Darcy be busy on Twitter, man. I saw your questions you sent to Ian Begley, man. So salute to you.
Yeah, he don't never answer my shit.
He only responded once to me, but he took I forgot what it was on. But hopefully he gets there because he I think he does try to do, he tries to look on, response on Twitter. So hopefully your questions get picked up here. Any final thoughts, man? 76ers on Wednesday. Friday, the Grizzlies, bro. How you feeling, man?
Man, honestly, bro, I'm anxious. I'm ready for Mitch to return, bro. Like that's what's gonna make me extra excited. I think we have a good sample size of what this current starting lineup can do. I don't see them getting any better defensively unless there's an entire scheme change, which I don't think they're gonna pivot and do off of losing 2 games to the top 2 contending teams, because obviously what you're doing is sufficient enough to get you 3rd in the East, but it's not enough to get you over that hump to be confident that you can make it out of the Eastern Conference. So I think ultimately the Knicks need to pivot. You need to get Mitchell Robinson in there. Obviously he's going to be in a minutes restriction, but you need to start some games and don't wait. Start some games with him at the 5. Put Josh Hart off the bench. I mean, honestly, if Thibs was really all in, he could have even experimented starting Miles McBride and having Josh Hart and McCall come off the bench, because now your bench depth is what it needs to be, and your starting lineup scoring is balanced. Because you have a guy who can defend. Miles McBride is pound for pound our best point of attack defender, and then you have shooting that he gives you. And then at the same time, now you can increase the usage for OG and Towns on your offensive side of the ball, and you have more coverage for the deficiencies that JB and Towns gives you on the defensive side as well. But I just think at the end of the day, Mitchell Robinson is the X factor because he gives you the full glimpse into what this team can be defensively, and then also when you get stops, it gives you momentum. It helps you get out in transition. So that's what the Knicks are trying to be too. Also, can we play faster with Mitch there as well? I think having Mitch there is going to help JB get downhill a little bit more because Mitch is a big lob threat. He puts pressure on the rim. And all these little things make a big difference. And Tom Thibodeau, that's how he uses his bigs. He uses his bigs for rim protection and rebounding. And that's why I don't think he's been able to maximize what Towns can do. But when you move Karl Towns to the 4, you saw what success he had with the Timberwolves. We need to try to align ourselves with that and see where that can get us. Towns, his best results have been produced with him at the 4. So you put him next to a guy like Mitch, who to me is a better rebounder than Gobert, at least on the offensive side, and I think gives you the same thing defensively. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm anxious for. That's the only thing that's giving me any level of optimism that we can go out and compete against Boston is making these kind of changes and not waiting, making them, get a good sample size, get the numbers to see what it tells you. But ultimately, Mitch needs to start. Josh Hart needs to hit the bench. And Mikal needs to be staggered with that bench so you can help get Shamet and Payne's chemistry going with him going into the playoffs, because these are your guys. If any one of these guys go down, if OG Anunoby has another foot injury, God forbid, or anything of the sorts, these are the next men up. You have to play them now. Do not wait till the playoffs come where it's more pressure and teams need to be gelled more than ever, and these guys are figuring out how to fit into the offense. No. You get TJ Warren in here off the bench too. I don't know what that lineup looks like. Maybe Shamet gets removed. But we need to make some changes because we're not even coming close to the Celtics. We're not even coming close to the Cavs in these games. And when you come and match up against them in April, you need to throw every single thing at them to see what works. Because if you play them come playoff time, that is not the time to try to figure out what's the winning formula. We need to have something that we know we can throw at them to keep points coming in on the board. The Knicks have struggled offensively. For a team that we've seen the Knicks score and win games. We've seen the Knicks win games without shooting the ball well. Right now, we're not doing that. We don't even look like we come out with an offensive scheme, right? It looks like, get the ball to whoever has the mismatch and let them try and go to work. That's what we do right now. Before the Knicks were spraying the ball, JB was having games where he was getting 12 assists. Where's that at? We need to standardize how we play. And honestly, we're not going to see that same Knicks team that we saw earlier in the season because it's not going to be the same starting lineup. But I think you can see a more efficient team. I think you can see a more balanced team offensively and defensively, which is the hump we need to get over to be a contender. You don't see any team that's a contender have a center who can't defend and protect the rim. That's a fundamental. So you get that back and you build from there. But the questions have to be asked, can Tom Thibodeau make the adjustments that a great coach would make in order to maximize his team? To be honest with you, my answer to that question is no. I love Thibs. I think he's a good coach, but GMO, I've been jumping on him for probably 3 years now at this point. I've said it time and time before. Tom Thibodeau is a good coach, but he's not a great coach. I don't think he's shown the capability to fully maximize the roster. Fans, we see things all the time that we don't see him go and make the adjustments and do until he's forced to do it. And it's like, why does everyone else see these things and you? I don't care what the numbers are telling you, bro. Some things, it just has to be the eye test. Let me just try this. He let Miles McBride start that one game the other night, and then boom. You don't start him again. You want to play big. You put Precious out there, and he got cooked by Moody. We need to try other things and try other formulas. Can't keep going out with the same thing and hoping that it's going to work. April are must-win games. There's no sugarcoating it. You play the Cavs, you need to get at least 2 of those 3. Don't give these guys the mental edge over us going into the playoffs. You hope Milwaukee maybe can knock off the Cavs? I'm not sure. These guys are really good right now, man. I got a lot of Cavs. I lived in Cleveland, so I got a bunch of Cavs fans talking crazy to me right now. Yeah, they like, this is not the same Cavs fans that y'all sent home the previous years. I'm like, look, man, y'all haven't. Let's get Mitch back out there. I don't think Mitch is worried about Mobley or Allen. I'm pretty sure he knows they've gotten better, but I think at the end of the day, Mitch is going to show up and be ready to dominate these guys again and strike fear in them again. Mitch is really like that, bro. Louisiana kid plays with that toughness, that grittiness. When he blocks and helps get stops, man, and his team gets out into transition, that's when the Knicks are at their best. That's when the crowd is excited. That's when we thrive in the playoffs. That's what we've been missing. We don't have that this year. We used to be excited. We don't have it this year. We don't have that fight and that toughness. Mitch is gonna inject a dose of that back into this lineup. OG's gonna play invigorated.
You
These guys,
hope so. Your man gotta be healthy, man. He playing on limited minutes. They said on Friday, according to sources. We'll see, but he just gotta be healthy, and we gotta see.
I need him back tomorrow, bro.
No. They said Friday. They said Friday. They said tomorrow. He's out tomorrow.
I mean, who said that? CP said that, but that's not confirmed. He said that's rumor.
Yeah, but even the report said, not even CP. It said the report said that he's out tomorrow. That he's out.
Oh,
Josh
they put
is
out
down
an injury.
Josh is on an injury report. The patella tendon, whatever that, not patella tendon, whatever the thing, tendinopathy,
Yeah.
with the Cat is still there, but he's questionable. So I think he's gonna be a go. But yeah, Josh is fine. Cat is questionable. Mitch Robinson is out. So
I didn't think they ruled him out.
I mean, I would rest them against the Sixers.
Yeah, the Sixers don't. Yeah, if the Knicks can't beat. Come on, though.
No, don't do that. But
No. But this hobbled Sixers team. Not saying I'm saying if we can't beat them.
Nah,
if we can't, I'm not saying we blow them out. I'm just saying if we can't beat them, we have issues. Like, don't get me
Bro,
wrong, Maxi's a great player, but
anything that say he's out.
I just saw the report on Twitter. Well, I saw it on Twitter. Hold up, let me see.
okay.
Mitchell Robinson. Let me just see where I got it from because I actually don't remember. Mitchell Robinson.
Because I know I saw. Oh wait, yeah, he's listed out. Never mind, Ian Begley. Yeah,
But yeah, let me get out of here because Nick is starting to yawn, bro. So, guys, I appreciate you, man. Darcy, as always, man. Appreciate you, man. Nick, Isaiah, thanks for coming on before. I appreciate you guys, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace, salute, God bless, and I'll see you guys on the next one. We are out. Peace.
All right.